Good morning. Happy Monday. If you're new here, my name is Holly and I'm a 9th grade Algebra 1 teacher. It's the last week before spring break. I don't know what's up with that, but spring break is a week earlier this year, and I think it has to do with daylight savings. I'm pretty sure we always have spring break the week of daylight savings. That way we have like a week to adjust to the time change. At least that's what I think normally happens. I don't know that much. Right now I'm just putting in a new scent. I have coconut water and beach grass because I previously had a pumpkin and ginger one and it was fine. I didn't love it. The ginger was very strong. But this one smells like I'm on vacation, which is kind of what I need mentally. You know what I mean? Okay, work your magic, please. I left my desk in a, you guessed it, mess. Not even gonna show you a close-up because, yikes. Okay, I need to put you away. So I'm just gonna start this morning off by organizing. Organizing all my papers, all the crap that's on my desk, and then we can have breakfast, do my daily brain game, and talk about what this week holds. Change of scenery here. Okay. So, hello again. This week I am teaching exponential functions. So we're only spending 2 weeks on exponential functions. I'm just going to say one thing about this and then I'm going to be done with it, because if you listened last week, I am sick of testing and I'm just so frustrated with testing. I think testing has ruined the education system, amongst other things. That's not like the one thing that's ruined the education system, but it is a contributing factor. We are supposed to have everything taught by the time we take the benchmark. We took the benchmark February 27th. In case you weren't aware, we have school until the end of May. Why are you forcing us to cram everything into the first 27 weeks when we have 9 more weeks? We actually have more than that. We have 11 weeks, I think, because of the way that spring break is early. So anyway, that's not important. I'm just saying. We had to cram everything, and obviously it didn't all fit, okay? A year's worth of material doesn't fit in 3/4 of a year, surprisingly enough. So we're just now teaching exponential functions. They've already been tested on exponential functions on the benchmark. So that data is worthless to me, but whatever. So I'm teaching exponential functions, half of it, then we're going on spring break, then I'm going to come back and teach the other half of exponential functions. So we'll see how that goes. But today is just key features of exponential functions, so like identifying parts of a graph, basically. Tomorrow I am continuing key features, but when given an equation. So they basically are going to type the equation into Desmos and then use the skills that they learned today to help them identify the key features. Then on Wednesday we have TSI testing for freshmen. And if you want to hear me rant about that, go listen to last week's vlog, because I said a lot. I spoke my mind. So I'm not going to talk about it right now. Basically, I disagree. But anyway, TSI testing, the week before spring break. A test that's completely useless for freshmen. Anyway, moving on. Said I wasn't going to talk about it. Moving on. Thursday, what are we doing? Oh, Thursday we're going to be writing equations. Basically, you're given a table or a graph and you have to write the equation. I fear we're making it too easy for them. I haven't taught anything this year that requires actual thought. It's just mindless plugging it away. And I think next year I'm gonna change that. I don't know. I say that, I probably won't. But there's a long way to do it. There's a way to, solve for you gotta find the initial amount. You have to find what the ratio is, the common ratio or whatever. I think because we're only teaching them the easy way to do things, they're like, oh, I don't have to think, so they're not remembering it. There's a lot to unpack there. We're not going to right now. Friday is going to be a chill day, because I don't feel like teaching the day before spring break, and I know the kids don't want to do anything the day before spring break. So I think I'm just going to have that be a finish whatever you didn't get to this week, finish your homework if you didn't do it, and I'm going to have a movie on. Even though I don't want to give them a free day, I'm giving myself a free day. You see the difference? It's time for my daily brain game. Today I get to do 2, because I have to do the one from the weekend and the one for today. Ooh, missing shape. This one looks significantly more difficult than the previous missing shapes, so I'm excited about that. I don't think it's A. I don't think it's B. Oh, this is tough. It's probably C. It's gotta be C, unless it's A. No, I'm going C. I'm not going to doubt myself. It's C. All right, odd one out. So we have Taurus, Capricorn, Orion, Sagittarius. I'm assuming it's Orion because the rest are like horoscopes. They're all like constellations, but Orion doesn't have like a... What makes those constellations special, actually? I don't know. Signs of the zodiac. But why are those special? Who decided that Orion couldn't be a zodiac sign? You know what I'm saying? Not that it will impact my life in any significant way. I just like knowing things. Today was a good day, for the most part. It was very chill. A lot of them finished the work super fast, which I expected. I didn't want to assign too much work, so I accidentally under-assigned work, but it's fine. They were chill. We were chill, okay? It's all good, but they really seem to understand this unit so far, so hopefully that continues. They did just send out assignments for testing on Wednesday, so I'm going to be in the same room that I tested the algebra benchmark in. And my room will be used for displaced students, which is great. So I have to make sure that tomorrow all of my stuff is put away, anything that I don't want messed with. You know the drill for testing. Well, the class that is in here is going to be a normal class, not a testing class. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so today I need to do my accommodation reporting form for my 504 students. I need to, that's like the only need. And then I guess I need to go ahead and make copies for tomorrow. That way we're ready to go. But I am like pretty much on top of things this week. I went ahead and made a key for most of the stuff. Oh, let me show you. So they had some anonymous survey for the students where they could basically share like reasons that they love this school. And I don't know who was in charge of it, but they basically put everything that they said onto these little cards and delivered them to the teachers. So I got 2. One says Miss Adams cares about her students, and the other says Miss Adams is positive every morning. So that was, that was sweet. I'm gonna hang this on my wall. This is my why, you know what I mean? Not really. Okay, I also need them to release panorama results, which is the student survey that they took a couple weeks ago. I don't know why it's not released yet. It's literally an online survey. They don't have to like change anything. So I don't know what's taking them so long to put it in the system. So once I know what I got on that, that's going to determine if I ask for a redo on my formal evaluation or my formal observation, because I realized that my formal observation, the score that I received, is a 1/10 of a point away from the top designation on teachers incentive allotment, which can get me a lot of money. So I'm just waiting on the results of the panorama to know if it's even worth it. Because I don't want to do another evaluation just to be like, oh, well, now you're not eligible because of your survey scores or whatever. So if you're in Texas, you know about the TIA. If you're not, it's basically like a bonus incentive thing to get good teachers to stay teaching. It's 5:15 and I am going home. So I had a few students that needed to take their benchmark. They were absent on test day, so I'm not going to devote any class time to it, and they don't want to miss any class time, so I'm just decided to stay after school. I think I only have 2 others that need to take it. 3 others that need to take it, but if they don't take it by Friday, if they don't take it by Friday, it's just a 0 in the grade book. So I am getting out of here. I was very productive while said students were testing and made some more keys, got organized, etc., etc. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. This is going to be random, but I don't know if any of you guys listen to 21 Pilots. They're like an alternative band, kind of. But anyway, I've been listening to them nonstop, their newer stuff, but then today I went back and started listening to their old stuff again. It's just so good. No one does it like them. It's just so good. Today, I am teaching something. Oh yeah, I'm teaching Key Features of Exponential Functions Part 2. This time they're going to be getting on Desmos and doing stuff like that. This is what I'm having them do today. This is like more so review from yesterday, and then this is going to be new. So one thing that I like about this, it's only 12 problems, but it gives them an equation. And instead of just having them list out all the key features, it gives them options. So it's kind of like multiple choice. So you have to pick for this equation, is the y-intercept at 0, -3? Is the domain x is greater than -1? Is the asymptote at y equals -1? Or is the range all real numbers? So I like that because a lot of times when they have, like most of their test questions are multiple choice, and yes, they can just guess on those, but I like exposing it to them anyway, so that they kind of get in their head of like what to look for and how to determine if something's true or false versus just identifying, oh, what is the y-intercept? What is the asymptote? Things like that. Okay, I need to go real quick run and make my copies for today. And I also might go ahead and make my copies for Thursday because tomorrow's TSI testing. I don't know if I've already talked about this. If I have, I apologize. But my pencil sharpener went missing. It was a really, really, really nice pencil sharpener. It was a manual one. And all of my students were like, it gets my pencil the sharpest ever. Like, look at this. Okay. I missed my sharpener. My students missed my sharpener. We're having to use the little hand ones because I don't have an electric sharpener, because I hate electric sharpeners because they just don't work. Okay? They just don't work. But now I'm like debating, should I send out a campus-wide email asking if anyone has seen it? Because we've been doing testing. I'm wondering if maybe when someone was in my room, they took it with them. Like, that's just crazy though. Who would take a pencil sharpener? So I definitely don't want it to come off as if I'm accusing anyone, but I really want to find my pencil sharpener. Boy, I followed my only lead with the pencil sharpener and it didn't lead me anywhere. So I think I'm just going to buy another one because maybe it like fell and it broke and whoever dropped it, like they just threw it away. I can't come up with like a plausible event happening. I don't want to accuse anyone of, stealing. But anyway. Let's take our mind off things. Do my daily brain game. Pay attention. So this is the one where you have to look at the letters and numbers, and then answer the question. Okay. 571 R3 EF8. Yikes. 531. Nope. I was literally looking at it and I said it wrong. 571 R3 EF8. Oh gosh.
Hey, you gotta be home for test come, right?
Yeah, I forgot. We were interrupted. It's now like an hour later. So we're gonna restart. 571 R3 EF8. Okay, so 3EF8. Because 3 and E are like the same, and then fate. 3EF8. 571R is tough. 571R. 571R. 3EF8. 571R. Is it 3E or E3? F8. 3E. You know what? Let's just go for it. What's the fourth number? 571R3. I think it's 3. Success. Okay. This district, y'all. One of the middle schools in our district has been struggling for a while, as in like low test scores, poor behavior, all this stuff. And so they already have done like an overhaul of the admin. Now they're doing an overhaul of the teachers. So they made every single teacher on campus reapply for their position, and they're doing interviews this week. Then they sent out an email to pretty much everyone in the district asking them to apply for a job at this middle school. And that it's just so scummy, the whole thing. It makes me feel very gross. And I'm really worried because, like, it's not these teachers' faults that the school isn't doing well. Like, I know some of these teachers and they're doing their best with what they have. It's just a tough situation. And so if they don't get rehired, who in the district is going to want to hire them? Like, I'm worried that that's what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, just one school not working doesn't mean they're not a good teacher. But I'm worried that some principals will think that way of like, oh, you were at that middle school? Well, I'm going to look somewhere else for a teacher, you know? So I'm just worried that if they don't get rehired, that they're going to have to leave the district altogether. And that's so sad, because it's a lot of people. But apparently they find out on Friday if they have a job next year or not, right before spring break. So, you know, I guess they have spring break to go job hunting, but that's just terrible. This is not being handled. And the way they talked about it at the board meeting was also super gross, because like someone on the board straight up said, you know, well, because someone had asked, what are you going to do with the teachers that don't get rehired? Are you going to transfer them to another school? And that person on the board was like, well, if they were a failure at that school, who else would want them? So like I'm not crazy for thinking that way, because a literal board member said it. So I'm just hoping, I don't know what I'm hoping, but I'm just glad it's not happening on my campus. But I don't know. I feel like even if that was happening on my campus, I would feel so gross having to like reapply. I think I would want to leave anyway. It's just tough. And my heart goes out to them for sure. I've already talked about what I'm doing today. Tomorrow we're testing. I have a decent testing group. At least the kids that I know are going to be in there. But I'll be honest, I've been telling my kids to stay home because this test doesn't matter for them. They're going to have to take it again every year after this. Even if they pass, if they show up next year on TSI, they have to take it, even if they pass. So it's like, if you pass, don't show up the next year. So I'm like, you're not going to pass this year, so just don't show up this year. So hopefully our testing rooms are super tiny because everyone stays home. Hello, conference. Okay, I just gotta get something on my chest, okay? So, Texas recently, this year, banned cell phones in all public schools. Whatever your take on that, I personally am a fan. I think it actually has helped. Students don't need their electronics during class, but whether or not you agree with it, it's still law. So the fact that so many teachers at my school just could not care less, mainly it's just that it makes it hard for me to enforce it, because the school policy is no personal devices visible whatsoever. If we see it, we take it, give it to the office, a parent has to come pick it up, or a guardian has to come pick it up. So it feels like the algebra team is the only people doing that, because these kids are way too comfortable with their phones. They're trying to get on it during class. They have AirPods in during class, and I'm like, it's March. There's no way that y'all are still learning and getting used to not having fun. And then they'll tell me, oh, my biology teacher doesn't care. We use our phones. My world geography teacher doesn't care. My this teacher doesn't care. And I at first was like, okay, I don't necessarily believe you, because kids say whatever they want. But then I walked into a science classroom the other day, and on the board, it said personal devices welcome. Not only does that go against the school's policy, against the district policy, it's illegal. Now, yes, it doesn't matter that much, but it's just so frustrating, because if we want to get anything done, we all have to be on the same page, and we have to be a united front. And I get it. There are certain things that I'm like, I literally couldn't care less about this. I'm not gonna freak out. So I understand if that's you and your take on phones. However, it just makes everyone's life so much harder when we're not in alignment. Just wanted to get that off my chest. Today went really, really well. They are really getting exponentials. It's nothing hard. I haven't given them anything challenging yet. We haven't done word problems. So next week is when it's actually going to take off for exponentials. So this week is kind of chill. Tomorrow, again, we're testing. Hopefully nobody shows up, because I've been telling them not to show up. I think I'm just planning out the week when we come back from spring break. Because next week we are planning our star review layout. So I'm not going to go ahead and get ahead of myself and start planning star review, because I do want us to all be on the same page on that. But I am going to go ahead and finish planning for the week after spring break. And then I might have more kids coming to make up their benchmark today. I can't remember. Okay, so I figured I would just go ahead and show you guys how I plan. This would have been great for yesterday or today even, but oh well. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have them do this on Friday. It's short, and I'm just going to have them do it quickly, and then they get a free day the rest of the day. So this is the handout, the notes page basically for Monday, and then this is the worksheet for Monday. So I'm going to put that in a Monday pile. Tuesday, and I have my lesson plans pulled up to the side. So Tuesday is growth and decay. So that's growth and decay, that's growth and decay. Okay, good. So here is the notes page for Tuesday, along with the work page for Tuesday, which I might need to add some to both of these days, honestly. Not sure. And then geometric sequences, I have 2 options for worksheets. The notes page is currently still being worked on. I haven't fully finished that. And then exponential regression. That's Thursday. This is Wednesday next week. Not next week, but after spring break. So I made a foldable for this. I need to print it, so I need to print the foldable for Wednesday and Thursday. Friday we're taking a quiz, So what I need to do is print off the foldables and then work through all this myself, because I can kind of gauge based on how long it takes me, how long it's going to take the students. And that's what I use to determine how much more work I should assign. As I mentioned earlier, I do need to put everything away that I don't want messed with because I'm testing. I finished most of my keys, and I actually ended up changing a few things. So for example, for some reason when it printed like shift, like scaled. And then there were just a few things as I was working through it I was not happy with. Like there's one that is neither arithmetic or geometric, and like in a perfect world, sure, I would do that, but it's a waste of space. And then, what did I end up doing? There was something that I wanted to, I wanted more room in the boxes because I actually want to be able to show them the space. So I basically shifted everything down. So I redid this one and then realized that I only like the front of this page. I don't like the back at all. So just gonna do the front on this page. So yeah, that is why I always like to work my stuff before giving it to the kids. All right, I think that's everything. Also, if you watched last week's vlog, I ended it on a very sour note because I was just frustrated about a lot of things. And one of the things that I mentioned was admin not taking our like discipline seriously. Like we send a kid to them and then they just give them a warning and send them back or something like that. Well, maybe I spoke too soon, or maybe me putting it out there was what needed to happen, because I wrote up 2 students today for just the same behaviors that I was talking about, where it's just nonstop, drive you up the wall, overstimulating, can't get anything done type of behaviors. And they both received 10 days of ISS. I think maybe that's a little aggressive, but who am I to judge, okay? Okay, I don't know what else is going on. I'm sure other teachers have complained about them, and this was just like the straw that broke the camel's back. But I hope they learn their lesson. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. I am so tired. My goodness. I don't want to test today. I don't want to do it, but we have TSI testing today, which means I'm going to be in a different room, pacing all day while these kids take a test that doesn't matter. So here's what I'm telling them, because I really don't like saying that something doesn't matter in a school sense, because, you know, it doesn't matter right now, but that doesn't mean it's never gonna matter. So I don't like saying it doesn't matter. So what I've been telling them is I've kind of been explaining how the TSI works, which is there's a 20-question pre-test. If you pass it, you move on to the next pre-test, which is 30 questions. Maybe I had that backwards. So I've been like kind of explaining how the TSI works, which is there's a reading portion and a math portion. Both portions have a pretest, which if you pass the pretest, you're done. You move on, you pass. If you don't pass the pretest, you move on to the actual diagnostic, which is 48 questions. So what I've been telling my kids, and this is what I'm going to tell my testing group as well, if you want to try, like if you're curious just to see, what the questions are like, whatever, give it your best shot on the pretest. Try your absolute best. And if you pass, hey, that's amazing. And if you don't pass, it says, okay, you're now beginning the 48 questions. Click through that bad boy, because I do not want to be sitting in a room all day being silent, waiting for these. So anyway, hoping that they all actually listen to me, because here's the thing. They don't actually need to take the full test because it's not life or death right now. It's college readiness. They're in ninth grade. Okay, this is their first time ever taking it. So I'm like, I think it's fair to say, take the pre-test seriously, and then the actual test, just click through it, because obviously if you didn't pass the pre-test, you're not passing the rest of it. And I say that specifically for ninth graders. That's not the case with like sophomore, junior, senior. Then both of them matter, but like for right now, y'all don't. This is pointless. So I'm hoping that everyone finishes by like lunch. That would be awesome. Not betting on it, just hoping. Because once everyone's done, depending on how much time is left, I'm probably gonna put on a movie, probably Cars or something like that. They all have their Chromebooks, so they're just gonna be watching YouTube on their Chromebooks, but I just want something like central noise. That way they're not, I don't know. I just think that's gonna work better, because last time I didn't put anything on and it was kind of crazy. So I think I'm gonna put on a movie, and then I am going to try to get some work done on the planning side of things, planning out for like star review and whatnot before I go test. Let's do this. Kind of scared because I'm so tired. It might trick me today. Okay. Embroidery. Oh, I already know it. So the hint is mirror, and I have to come up with a 7-letter word. Just looking at it, I know it's reflection. Or reflector. Hold on. I got a little too cocky. Oh, it's just reflect. Yeah, that's 7 letters. See, my brain is thinking like, because I also do the New York Times daily puzzles, and so I was thinking like spelling bee, you're trying to get as many words as you can, but I play the free version, so it cuts you off. So my priority is just to find the biggest words that I can. So I want to find the pangram, and I want to find, whatever else. Big words. So I was like, ooh, reflection, but reflection is not even possible. And that doesn't matter because it's just reflect. Yeah. Okay. Exciting. I cleaned my desk. You want to see it? I feel like you'll never get to see my desk clean. Look at that. Okay. It is clean. It doesn't maybe look that way, but I promise you, for me it is. So this pile of cords is a bunch of Chromebook chargers that I'm going to be hiding in there. But everything else that I left out, I am okay if something happens to it. Like, obviously, I don't want anything to go missing or anything to get broken, but I'm being realistic. I'm okay if something happens to it.